Please come.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning. Please take your seat. Your good name?
Thank you, sir. SAMBEET PANI.
SAMBEET. You can introduce yourself.
Sir, I was born in Saranpur and for studies I moved to Kendriya Vidyalaya Jharkhand in Chhattisgarh area.
Okay.
After that, I did my engineering from WBCS University in Punjab, and for work-related purpose, I moved to Bengal. There, I worked as a programmer analyst in Cognizant Technology Solutions for 2 years. After that, I started preparing for civil services.
What is your optional in PhD? PhD?
Psychology.
Reading circle books. Rajya Puruskar Psychology. Who is considered the father of psychology?
Actually, there have been many proponents in psychological theories. For me personally, I prefer Sigmund Freud, Dr. Sigmund Freud, because of his psychoanalytical and psychosexual development theories, which are quite relatable in current context.
But though in the initial phase there is a lot of fervor and applause and acclaim, but later on there was a waning of his influence, isn't it? Particularly psychosexual theories. But what is the main theory of Sigmund Freud?
Sigmund Freud actually, if I give a brief history, actually he was, since he had, according to stories, he had a bad childhood. So everything he related to was to sexual developments. Like the child development theory, the first stage was oral, then anal, then phallic, then latency stage. Since he was related everything to sexual development.
His book on interpretation of dreams is considered a classic. So what is his theory on dreams?
Sir, he classifies it into unconscious mind, where our deep desires somehow comes into picture when we are into deep sleep.
The repressed desires,
Yes.
which we dare not speak about or think about, it goes into the unconscious, and while we are asleep, from the unconscious, they come to the conscious and express themselves in the form of dreams. Okay.
We generally tend to not speak about those things also, even with our close persons. Some repressed desires, like somebody...
No, when you say you push it into the unconscious, you are not even aware of it.
Because it is not socially acceptable, so we avoid bringing those things into profit.
What is id, ego and superego?
Sir, ego and superego are considered 3 parts of our mind only. Id is individual desire, in which we have childlike habits which we keep within ourselves. But for example,
It is 2 instincts. What are they?
actually,
What are the 2 instincts? Hunger and sex. Id. So it is, you want immediate gratification. But ego, what does the ego do?
sir, ego tries to balance out id and superego. For example, like right now I am sitting here, since I am feeling hungry, for example, my id will tell me to go and have something immediately to satisfy my hunger. But my ego would stop me on the basis of superego that it wouldn't be decent.
No.
Right now.
Okay. But you got the idea of SAMBEET, but little more clarity. Then I leave it there. And then since you were there in technology, what do you think of this artificial intelligence?
So artificial intelligence has been there from the very starting, like when Google started in 1993. We have search engine and all those things. But the recent developments without the ethical boundaries have been very alarming, because we are progressing at a stage where artificial intelligence was supposed to assist us, but now it is trying to overcome us. Like in Boston Dynamics and all, which are a part of Google only, they have made creatures which are able to function exactly like human beings. Also, artificial intelligence trained robots. They are like we have language acquisition devices in Noam Chomsky's theory, and those devices in artificial intelligence.
What is blockchain technology?
So blockchain technology is
And how would you make use of this blockchain technology when you get into public service?
Sir, I don't have exact reference of that because I read it a long time ago. It was basically currently.
Is this Bitcoin a part of the, is an outcome of this?
Yes.
Huh?
Actually, they create a set of codes which are stored in a chain-like structure, and those things are not tamperable.
Okay, very good. That's it. You said it. Sambeet, one last question for me. So you are a technocrat, I mean, technical engineer. You have worked in the, cognizant technologies solutions. So you bring with you a lot of technical expertise and psychology also. So, but how do you propose to deploy them, use them when you become a public servant?
Sir, from the very start of the day when I started preparing, in cognizant technology solutions, we in banking and financial domain, I have written my work domain. There we deployed agile technology. Agile technology is basically something where we have project set up in front of ourselves, where the project manager, like if there is a collector, he has complete reference of all the projects going on. What project, where is the delay, why is there a delay, who is making that delay, is there some file issues?
Will your technology be useful in tackling cyberspace, cyber crime?
Sir, if I have a domain knowledge, it is better for me to easily understand rather than a non-technical person. So I will definitely have an edge over a person who doesn't have a base of technology.
Very good, sir.
Okay. Sambeet.
Yes, sir.
Your name means something?
Sir, Sambeet, my father told me that it's related to good thinking, but in Odia language, I came to know that it relates to buddhi.
Is there any category of books called as self-help books? We know about novels, we know about fictions, we know about dramas, we know about such stories. But nowhere I have read across this self-help books. Why you are writing this? Is there any reason to that?
Sir, actually, there are many motivational speakers which arose when the time there was rapid industrialization, because there were too many products but nobody to sell it. So they created motivational speakers so that they can have salesmen who are motivated enough to do the business. So self-help books were created by those motivational speakers who couldn't reach out to the general public. Everybody can't go and attend seminars and all those things. So over a period of time, people adopted them because people had a feeling that they lacked the motivation to do anything. And there is generally this perception that we are not doing fair enough in life and all those things. So to satisfy that feeling of not having anything, we refer to self-help books.
Will it be okay to write like this? That yes, books from motivational speakers.
Most
Books of the motivational speakers. Will it be better than this? Or this is okay?
So currently, like the last one I read, the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, he was not a motivational speaker. Actually, he is a technocrat. He is based in US and he has some investments in some certain companies like Facebook and Google. But his personal knowledge about life and businesses and all those things were there in that book.
Because motivational answers means biography are also coming under that category. It's a kind of motivation through the biography of the person. So anyway,
His personal
if this is a category and that is existing on, we do not know, I am not come across that there is a category of books like self-help books. But from you I am getting into the concept.
So you must have heard about the monk who sold his father.
Yes.
Those are self-help books.
That is, you are telling, nowhere we have read that there is a category called self-help. But anyway, we will go with you. Don't worry. So, your subject is psychology, your native district is?
around Niagara.
Niagara. And your schooling is from where is this place? Jharkhand?
Jharkhand is in Chhattisgarh. Earlier it was in Madhya Pradesh, but in the year 2000 when Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh.
Why your schooling came there?
So my father was posted in Kendriya Vidyalaya.
Okay, so that's the reason for this. Where is this lovely professional university?
It's in Punjab, Jalandhar.
Jalandhar. Okay. What is this name? Lovely professional university?
It is an industrial house actually, Lovely Group. From that Lovely Group, that person has created Lovely Institute of Technology. After that, they made it into Lovely Professional Engineering.
Okay, means it's a good student working with Cognizant. What made you to not to continue after 18?
So after 2018, the first thing that came to my mind was if I have an insight on anything, I can do certain things in that field. For example, if I read biology, my understanding of things about plants and animals would be different from a person who doesn't have any reference on that subject. So similar for technology, there are a lot of things which can be used, but currently people are lagging behind like anything. When technology is going at a different pace, not parallel, they are running at the speed of bullet train, but we as a society, we are not progressing on that rate. So technology should be and can be utilized by people like us, so that people progress with the advent of technology.
My answer is not something. My answer is what prevented you not to go for job and other things, and then left this job and then not doing anything.
I am sorry, sir.
That's what it is.
Sir, initially, to be frank, I tried for Indian Engineering Services. After that, after giving 2 attempts, then COVID came, and since there was a very long delay, I finally gave up that. And since I long wanted to go for civil services, I took it as a challenge and then applied for it.
You never wanted to continue with the private sector?
If the current situation doesn't allow me, then I will definitely go back to it. But still, I want to, at the core of my heart, I want to be a civil servant.
So can you tell something about as an engineering student? Of course, environment is not your cup of tea, but still then, what is the major environmental problem tourist world is now looking at, and what kind of visions are being projected for the future to address these issues?
So, the first part of the question, main basic problem is climate change. That has been brought up by a number of things because of human actions only. Like there was a rapid pace of growth in industries and all those sectors. Due to that thing, we initiated climate change, and now the after effects of that, like the rising temperature, this urban heat island formation. This year only we had more temperature in Bhubaneswar area itself rather than the just surrounding areas only. So these are associated changes of climate change. There were big reports also where women are suffering more due to climate change rather than men, because they are the ones who are going to fetch water in places where there is no water supply and all those things. So those are the effects of climate change.
Okay, I will stop it here. You have rightly given the answer, but my point is how this problem is a pinch of salt to the engineers. How engineers take this problem?
So actually there is a concept of sustainable development, but we haven't taken it under consideration for a lot of time, because for example like US and all, those countries had industrialization way before us. So they did their part of growth and they did their part of pollution contribution. Now the onus has come upon the developing countries like India, where we are not able to manage the pace of development, where industries are a must.
Okay, we will go to one last point. How engineers are getting concerned with this? Because engineers in software, engineers in mechanical sector, engineers in industries, how their general public is feeling the trouble. And common people are feeling the trouble. Areas which are prone to disaster, they are feeling the problem. Agriculturists, they are feeling the problem. What about the engineers sitting in the AC rooms? How they feel about it, how they respond to this?
So I can personally.
Is it a concern for them or not?
It should be a concern, because they are human beings, and at the end of the day, when they leave their AC offices, they have to go outside and face the same environment that we face. So it should be a concern for them, and for that only research grants have been provided, where continuously research and development work is going on in IITs and ISC Bangalore.
Are they adopted by habits or practices something that may address the issues of
Maruti Suzuki has introduced hybrid vehicles, and we have EVs, for which government was providing subsidies under FAME scheme as per adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles.
Okay, your answer is okay. But you can make a little bit of contribution a little more in the way, because if such questions are coming to you like interviewing into the we engineers are also equally concerned, and our proprietors are also equally concerned. In many offices we are avoiding plastics. In many offices we are using some kind of not entering plastic bottles. So like try to say something that you will really also equally concerned in our high profile jobs also, in the students also. We are really aware of and responding in different ways.
Sandeep, I want to ask you a very reflective question in the sense, psychology is all about study the abnormal to know the normal. Am I right? Study the abnormal to know the normal. Have you come across this statement in psychology?
I have come across it, but let
me put it in this. Because first of all, let me put the problem and you answer it. So that means it is a study of the abnormal, means mad people. So psychology is a study about the abnormalities, mad people, schizophrenia, paranoia and psychotic cases. So, and not studying the normal people. How do you answer?
Those theories, although they have been given by renowned persons, but I would respectfully disagree with that.
Yes.
Because there is no such thing as normal. Once we establish something as normal, then we said that any diversion from these general habits or general activities, it turned to be abnormal. But if we go, it's like in economics we have top down and bottom up approach. It's like going that way. That we are going from negative to positive or positive to negative.
One thing, why there is so much of stigma of Indian people not to go for psychiatric counseling? In Western countries, every family has a psychiatric counselor and they regularly go and attend sessions. Why in India this is not taking place, and India is having maximum number of abnormal people or mad people or mentally ill people? So what is the problem? Why they don't go for psychiatric counseling? I mean not the educated mass, highly educated mass, if you don't go to psychiatric, not normal routine work. How do you explain?
The West had psychology as a subject way before us. So there were, if you see also the various theorists or the people associated with psychology, they introduced those concepts when we were not even independent. And when independent India came, we still don't have those many courses or people who are actively choosing clinical psychology or anything as a profession. So there is also demand supply gap in the first step. Then second point is, it is a stigma as you mentioned, because mental health diseases are not considered to be actual diseases for us. If something is somatoform, like the one which appears on our body, then it is considered there is something as an issue. But until and unless it takes up a physical form, the disease is not accepted in our society. So, and even people also try to shoo away these things, saying that no, I am well, because it becomes a matter of their own pride and ego. That how can I be mentally unstable and how can I go to a person?
People call me mad.
Yes, people call me mad.
One thing, any disease, normally, how much it is psycho and psychosomatic. So a common disease, not the chronic types, I don't know, how much it is affected by your psycho and how much it is actually somatic.
Sir, there is this psi theory which says that we have sixth sense, where we don't actually have that sense, but we can determine things just on the basis of certain supernatural things. So somatic things are like that only, where we don't have a biological basis of a disease in our body, but due to our thinking only. Suppose if I currently, like entering the interview hall, if I am thinking what will the interviewer ask me and how will they treat me, something like that, and I keep on thinking, then certainly I will start sweating and everything, or certain things will happen. My hands might start shivering also.
Brilliant. And tell me one thing, how in case of personality, how much it is determined by heredity and how much by environment?
So there is this nature-nurture concept in psychology.
Yes.
But those things are yet to be proved 100%. There is no reliability that either it is the nature or the nurture theory. Like in homes also, there are certain crimes, like one woman. A husband might beat up the wife. In the backward areas, we have regularly this problem. So some people say that, okay, this is the general nature of a male to be very aggressive and dominant. But that is the nature thing. But nurture thing says that no, he has been brought up that way. That's why he is doing it. Because other people who are in the progressive societies, the urban societies, don't pertain to that. So that has been a controversy, but there is no certainty.
Anyway, tell me something about the trait theory of personality, trait and types. Can you briefly explain personality traits?
So, I remember introverts and extraversion theory, where introverts are people who derive their energy from within themselves. They want seclusion and they are okay with being secluded and remaining to themselves. Extroverts, on the other hand, they are the people who derive their energy from the people who are outside to them.
One thing here, Sambeet, can a man is 100% introvert or 100% extrovert, or there is a mixture of introversion and extroversion? How do you reflect?
Theorists or scientists, they have put it in this form that either it is introvert or extrovert. But I would go with you only that always there is a mixture of introversion and extroversion, because we feel comfortable with people, then only we can share things. So they, at that point of time, they will say that we are extroverts. But if we are not comfortable with somebody, then we won't be speaking much, or we will be dealing on a surface level only. So that time, that it's a matter of perception only. For you, I can be an introvert. For me, you can be an extrovert.
Very good.
And the other way also.
And tell me, is schizophrenia curable? Because in sociological terms, many divorce cases have happened earlier due to a person being schizophrenia. That is also the court earlier used to consider that is as madness and divorce is granted. But in modern times, they refuse to give divorce on the basis of schizophrenia. You please explain, is schizophrenia under control or can be curable, or is not a big abnormality? Please.
Sir, out of my little understanding for
I have a little bit of it. I have read only Coleman. That psychology of abnormal psychology by Coleman. Anyway.
Sir, in the they have two stages actually. I don't remember the stages. The preliminary stages where there is a little bit influence of schizophrenia. There they say that we can do it by regular conditioning of the mind. Where according to Skinner, we have operant conditioning theory.
Yes, I know.
So there we can cure it and we can keep it in a passive manner. Like that won't occur actively, but the person will be okay to live with.
Divorce should be granted on the basis of schizophrenia.
So the extent of schizophrenia should be determined by a certified psychologist, that how much that person has been already affected by schizophrenia. If that person is somebody who is definitely supposed to harm that partner, then there should be cases of leaving and keeping that person under consideration, medical supervision.
I would have gone on for hours discussing it. I have never seen such a brilliant disposition by a candidate coming for interview. I am really impressed. So, but paucity of time and the purpose is also limited, sir.
Very good. So, आपने the interview का कब? 25th. So that leaves about 12 days, isn't it?
Yes.
This is the first examination for you, SAMBEET, OPSC?
This is the third attempt. First time interview.
First interview. So how do you feel?
So I feel great because I was always waiting for this moment. And as sir told, I wanted to discuss it with such an eminent set of personalities. So I think it will be good for me to go to interview and so that they can judge me not by the questions which are being asked in the exams, but on the basis of who I am.
Good. Wonderful. As sir said, you are, wonderful personality. And only our observation will be this 10 years gap. You rightly said that Corona is a great disruptor. So it disrupted, it took so many lives and disrupted many lives also. That is one thing. And you were in the private sector and then you tried for the examination. It don't allow that to reflect as a shadow on your personality. This is a general observation. Don't allow this, yes, I tried and then I did not succeed. Okay, you go absolutely fresh. There's a lot of depth and width in you. As sir put it, for want of time, we are not going into all those areas. But then you are an engineer.
Yes.
So when we say blockchain technology and the cyber currency or Bitcoin, there you said, sir, I read it long back, I won't be. So brush up on your fundamentals. Because, okay, these are the engineer and you are a brilliant engineer. Isn't it? You have worked also. So that could come as a little disappointment to the board because when they see your credential, the expectation will be high. So there you cannot afford an answer. Yes, sir, but now I'm not very sure about that. So that may not, that area, that particular question, blockchain. But then you rightly said it is tamper proof. Immediately come out. So that means you have allowed 10 years to be a bojo, a kind of a load on you. Because you know the answer, and it's a brilliant explanation. Just one phrase, it is tamper proof. And therefore, automatically it will come in for a number of things. That is a single 2-word definition of this thing. Isn't it? So you have it in you, but you are weary, you are tired. On the day of interview, leave the 10 years aside. Go with the freshness. Okay? And similarly also psychology. You said, sir, normal. There's a brilliant answer. Who lays down these norms? Isn't it? So that's a brilliant answer. So there's a lot of depth in you. Open mind, a very critical, independent thinking, which is what we are looking for. But on the day, you should allow it to be. Okay? So anything you want to say?
I think he is absolutely alright on all front.
Yes.
Only thing is he has not got a chance to be evaluated in the board.
Yes, we could have engaged you longer.
Your articulation I'm impressed. One engineer, the way, the clarity you have on psychology, on the issues Professor Ponda also asked, that impressed me. You can really carry the board with you. If this type of interview goes on, probably will carry the board. And will maybe in the top of the top 10, top 20, somewhere you will be there.
Okay. And which dress you go in?
It's a white shirt and black.
Very good, very good. And here?
So actually, you can see it in my photo that I have lost a good amount of weight in this period.
Okay.
So while working in government, I had little blood pressure related problem.
Okay.
So the doctor told me that either you start medication or you do exercise. So I jumped on to exercise.
Keep smiling is a very pleasant, handsome personality. So that day, full of energy, enthusiasm, brush up on the fundamentals, even on the EQ and so forth. It's a very simple thing. Just brush up. You'll do. Okay? All the best, SAMBEET. God bless you. Nice. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
This is the kind of.
Okay, all the best.
And which newspapers you are reading?
Sir, I have so many articles and the normal headlines from mostly all the
Odia paper?
so Samaj.
Very good. All the best. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Only two kinds.